we'll probably talk about, some of his family members haven't found a dignified place for themselves. His role in sort of amplifying the cause of veterans, their families, and the cost of war is perhaps like the single greatest contribution he's made in his adult life, I think. And so this, in that sense, doesn't feel like it's a sort of a cynical thing for him to do. It does feel in keeping with the sort of the role he's given himself. But yeah, there are some aspects within it which maybe are more amusing. But as you say, the overall tone of it, I think we can praise.
Yeah. Let's talk about the things that he loves about Britain. So he's obviously sitting there poolside of Montecito. He's thinking, how do I sum up my love for my country in the kind of, the small experience that other people will understand. So he's gone for the banter of the mess, the clubhouse, the pub and the stands. And he just sounds like a guy who got married, had kids, doesn't see enough of his mates anymore. I mean, that's a bit sad, isn't it?
It is. And I'll tell you what, I think the word stands is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. It's the one which I've seen left out of certain news reports on it. But I think I know darn well what's going on here, which is that he was poolside last weekend, Saturday afternoon, more precise, I'm guessing, watching England versus Australia on the TV instead of the best seat in the house in Twickenham, which of course he had for many years. So I think the stands is probably the thing he's missing most, because I think he is a huge rugby fan and he missed out on seeing England giving the Aussies a good walloping. So that's definitely something. And, I think you mentioned he also talks about the banter, the self-deprecating nature of Brits, which I think does give us license to sort of rib him a little bit here. And I think those things are fair. But given that you guys have, as a lot of the news have called this an essay, it is, firstly, it's only 647 words. So that is generous. It's more, an amuse-bouche. And I never thought I'd find myself marking a Prince Harry essay. I want to ask you guys if I'm going to get paid the same as Rory Stewart when he was a royal tutor, because he was on a bit of money for that. But really, if you read it, it's a testament to the quality of British universities, because, of course, Prince Harry didn't go to university, and some of his language, I think you can tell.
So Prince Harry writes a reflective piece for Remembrance Day, a piece about identity, belonging, and what it means to be British. He speaks of service, of memory, of those who never came home. A deeply personal reflection from a man who served on the front lines, who lost comrades, who stood in dust and danger, not press rooms and photo ops. And what does Jon Harvey, comedian, satirist, and politically themed performer, say? You can tell he didn't go to university. A joke, a jab, a sneer dressed as humour. But no, this is not just comedy. This is class signalling. The performance of superiority disguised as wit. The elite mocking the elite while forgetting context. Let's break it all the way down. Here's what's interesting. Prince Harry didn't go to university because he went to war. He graduated from Sandhurst, not a lecture theatre. He trained with armoured reconnaissance. He flew Apache helicopters. He served 10 years in the British Army. He completed 2 tours in Afghanistan. Let that sink in. While Jon Harvey was writing jokes, Harry was calling in air support under fire. While British media laughed at tabloids, Harry was evacuating wounded soldiers. University teaches theory. War teaches certainty. Harry didn't learn identity from books. He lived it. He buried friends who never saw the age of 30. He still carries those ghosts. So when Harry writes about Remembrance Day, he's not posturing. He's remembering faces, names, uniforms, last words. The mockery isn't just disrespectful. It is a misunderstanding of who has earned the right to speak. Prince Harry's education wasn't in lecture halls, but on the front lines. He served in Afghanistan, not as a figurehead, but as an active soldier and pilot. He faced danger, fear, and the tragic cost of war, experiences that change a person forever. He formed deep bonds with soldiers from all walks of life, united by loyalty and respect. The army was a crucible that burned away privilege and left a profound understanding of service. In the end, his education was written in sacrifice. There are two kinds of knowledge, one from books, the other from life. Academic learning, found in universities, offers theory, analysis and frameworks. It shapes leaders and thinkers, providing a knowledge of the mind. But there's another kind, gained through direct experience. It's the wisdom of a soldier, a farmer, a doctor, learned through action, hardship and the senses. This is knowledge of the heart and hands, teaching lessons no book can fully capture. Prince Harry carries the second kind. Society often values academic credentials more, dismissing those without them. But true wisdom comes from combining both worlds. If forced to choose, the knowledge gained from facing life and death holds unique power. It provides a moral compass that theory alone cannot. Harry's education was in the field, not the classroom. He learned loyalty and sacrifice firsthand. This doesn't make him less intelligent. It makes his perspective invaluable. He speaks with an authority that can't be earned with a degree. His truth is lived, not learned. In a world obsessed with credentials, his experience is a reminder of what really matters. It's a voice we need to hear. In Britain, power has long been divided, those who rule and those who serve. The traditional path to influence ran through elite universities, shaping the ruling class. Sandhurst, by contrast, was for those who would lead in action, not just in theory. These worlds rarely crossed. Prince Harry broke tradition by choosing Sandhurst over university. He bridged the gap between privilege and service, immersing himself in the reality of military life. This choice set him apart from other royals. He became one of the soldiers, not just a visitor. His perspective is unique. He understands both royal tradition and the world of the common soldier. This gives him a rare, grounded view of British identity. He's not just a prince who posed for photos. He lived the risks. His unconventional path shapes his worldview. It's why he connects so deeply with veterans. His authority comes from shared experience, not inherited status. That's what makes his voice so compelling. Humour can unite, but it can also wound. In public life, mockery is often used to undermine voices like Harry's. When he speaks sincerely about service or mental health, critics respond with jokes, shifting focus from message to personality. This tactic controls the narrative, turning him into a punchline and dismissing his decade of military service. Laughter becomes a way to ignore his voice. It's effective because it avoids real debate, replacing substance with spectacle. The conversation is cheapened, and serious issues are lost in fleeting comedy. This reveals a fear of what Harry represents, a challenge to the old order. Humour is used to protect the status quo, defending tradition with cynicism. By mocking Harry, critics try to neutralise his influence. But lived experience can't be erased by a joke. His message endures despite the laughter. The truth of his service speaks louder than any punchline. Prince Harry's right to speak comes not from royalty, but from sacrifice. He earned it in Afghanistan through dedication and shared risk. His lived experience gives him an authority no critic can take away. When he speaks about remembrance, it's not performance, it's duty. His vision of British identity is modern, inclusive, and rooted in shared values: courage, compassion, service. On the front lines, titles and wealth mean nothing. Character is everything. This is the Britishness Harry champions. His message challenges the old guard, threatening those who cling to tradition and exclusion. For Harry, actions define worth, not background. That's why critics try to silence him with mockery. His sincerity is a direct challenge to their cynicism. In the end, service outweighs status. Lived experience is more powerful than a punchline. So, Jon Harvey, with all due respect, if the only argument you have is he didn't go to university, then you've proven Harry's point. There are two kinds of British identity: the one that performs superiority and the one that has lived sacrifice. Prince Harry has earned the right to speak, not because of his title, but because of what he survived. And that is something no punchline can erase.